We are live, by the way. You can change the title after anyway, but just FYI.
Oh, okay.
Don't say anything too contradictory.
Messed up with. Has PlayStation shat the bed?
Screwed the pooch.
Slapped the monkey.
Xbox better than PlayStation?
Controversial.
And then just put like, you know, when they do all caps with like these stars, just put like trigger warning.
Yeah.
Like after it.
There we go. I've got it.
Is
Will
PlayStation
PlayStation regret messing with Activision? That's even more concise, less words. Brilliant. There we go.
You did it.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh, let me just check this is all looking right. On me audio.
I think so.
Looking right.
I think so.
Lovely. I think so. Channeling some Torbjorn energy there. I like that.
Well, I know how much you love him.
Fucking love that guy. All the turret characters can fucking do one.
You like Symmetra though.
It's worth the demonetization. That's true. Actually, I don't mind Symmetra as much as
I
Bastion
hate
and
Symmetra
Torb.
more than Torb.
Yeah, right.
I fucking hate
I don't
Symmetra.
mind her as much.
Symmetra really fucking annoys me. She's just like a fucking bug that gets stronger and stronger until the bug squishes you.
Yeah, so the bug is firing nukes at you.
I hate it, especially when you have like brain dead tanks on your team, because she just fucking like sits on them until her beam's like the width of
Walks up to
fucking
you.
Manhattan,
Yeah.
and then she just looks at me and I melt. Being a healer, fucking great.
It's pretty awful. Where am I? Oh no! Does that have a pen? Can I get a pen in the chat?
Oh, I thought you were doing like another title for our stream. Does Deck have a pen?
It doesn't roll like Deck has a pen. All right, I'll just have to do it on the notes like God intended. Oh no, there we go. Perfect. All right. Okay. Oh, do you know what I was thinking? Maybe I think we should have like one of those cool scenes. Some other podcasts have these. Like, are you okay?
Yeah. I just like acting like I'm like really into whatever you're saying.
You know, people have like the pre-show things, and we just play the jingle, and then we just fade when we're actually ready to come in. How good is that? How professional would that be? Instead of us talking about nonsense for the first 5 minutes.
Turn up late and not ready.
You do actually. That is wrong. That is wrong. You do.
Well, I haven't for the last couple of times, so shut up.
Right. Okay.
I mean, as per your request, we're jingling, but yeah, it's too late. Sorry. Producer fucked up, I guess.
No, I was just saying it's just an idea to think about.
No, it is a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to episode 94 of the Salty Resume podcast. It's two of us here. We hate each other. Hate each other's guts.
Yeah. Increasingly more every week, and we're on episode 94, so you can probably get an understanding of how much we hate each other at this point.
Yeah. Whatever you think saltiness looks like, times that by 94, and that's the energy that's going to be coming out of this podcast.
Some big salt energy.
It's been a bit shit week, to be honest, Tim. Just I think the only good thing that's actually happening this week, and I just mean like I'm not speaking for you. Maybe you've had a good week, but I mean in the world is that Trump got indicted again, or indicted. You know that's good news.
It's fantastic news.
For nothing though, you know, it's a bit of a bullshit thing that like of everything that he finally gets caught for, it's paying like or not whatever. What was it like? Paying a porn star or something like that. I can't remember the exact details, but I was like, surely there's something worse here. Like, I mean, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's probably They were just like, just like own up for this one. this one's not as bad as the others. Just take the fall for this one.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like on the docket, we've really got little stuff. You know, last week I said, what was the word? How did I describe the show? Lean last week. It's like the opposite of that this week. It's like someone's just made a big batch of penne and just fucking lobbed it on your plate.
Or it's like someone just poured like on like a flat surface, like a whole bag of millions.
Yeah, it's just exploded. Yeah, that is it. Yeah. Millions. Do Americans have millions?
I think so. I think they originated from America. I think they came over here. Yeah, I don't think they started in this country. I think millions US.
Which is a bit deceptive if you think about it, isn't it? Because there's not a million in the packet.
Would you like there to be a million in the packet? It's a lot. Plus, they'd probably be like 20 quid a bag at that point because you're buying a million of them. Sometimes you just got to take it as it is, man. Don't get greedy.
Because sherbet, like if they called sherbet millions, I'd be like, yeah, all right.
Okay.
There's a million granules of sherbet in there, isn't there? I can't argue with
Probably
that.
more. 2 million.
Exactly. Yeah, 2 million at least. Man, I miss sherbet.
Yeah, I don't mind sherbet. It's not bad, but I get kind of sick of it quite quick. But it's all right.
I think it's one of the sweets that's like you can't have this as an adult anymore. It's really sad.
Because you're like chugging it through like a little straw most of the time.
Yeah,
it's a bit weird. Yeah.
Like if someone came to my desk and I was pouring blue sherbet into my mouth, like from like a foot above my head. Do you know what I mean? Like this, I feel like it's questionable.
It's very questionable. However, if you eat a bag of Haribo, they'd be like, give that man a raise.
Yeah.
You know?
There are a couple of sweets like that. I feel like milk bottles fall into that category as well.
I love controversial though.
No, I love sherbet. I'm just saying it's a cruel world we live in, Tim. You know. How are you?
That was such a great moment of silence. I love that. That was brilliant. Yeah, I'm good. Hello. Let's actually get started on the show. So, I just rhymed like 5 fucking words.
That was sick.
Yes, I'm doing okay. I have, it's been a pretty busy week. I've got back to my old office, so I'm not doing the boring job anymore, and I'm just getting slammed with work. So, like, it's just been a busy week. And then I've now, like, kind of moved back to my parents for, like, 10 days because they've gone on holiday, so I've had to grab a load of stuff and come here and, you know, do dog and lunch breaks and all that kind of stuff. So just days feel a bit more packed. There's just more things to do.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's not going too bad. I managed to, obviously I got my Series S behind me. Lovely little portable boy. Didn't have to
that's a good one.
Drag my absolute behemoth of an Xbox down here for the next 10 days. So it's definitely useful in that regard. Like I literally can just like slip that inside my rucksack. So yeah, that's been good.
Console.
Yeah. And game wise, what have I been playing this week? We played a bit of Overwatch comp the other night. That was pretty awful actually. Not really had a great time with that one. I think I'm almost done with Overwatch for this season. I think we'll see what the battle pass brings next season, and if it will bring me in.
Oh, you'll be all over the new healer. I no doubt.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's true. Yeah, there is a new healer. That's actually true. I did.
And can we actually, you know, let's put a pin in this. You know, all the listeners, can we just take a moment of appreciation for this kid? Tim is a healer main.
Yeah.
How fucking sick is that? How many friends do you guys have who are healer mains? None.
Probably not many.
I bet.
Probably don't even have friends, do you, Wacky?
My best friend is a healer main.
Yeah, it's true. I
Golden
queue
Goose.
it. I just straight up
Golden
queue
Goose.
it.
Yeah.
It's the only one I select. It's because I feel like I have to carry the healing. God forbid if like 2 of our friends or like 2 randos get heals. Like, I'm better off just going downstairs and making a tea or something. We're not winning that game.
Just letting the game play out.
We're just not winning it. Joaquin says he's a support main. I don't believe it.
Let's
I don't
go.
believe it till I see it. Nah, you have to have a specific mental like capacity and will to be a
Yeah.
support main, Joaquin, and I don't
Yeah.
know if you're there. If you could send in
Yeah.
some video evidence to our Gmail, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like, how long can you tolerate being waterboarded, sort of thing.
exactly.
Most people last 10 seconds. Support mains 5 hours.
Best Reinhardt this side of Mississippi. Well, Reinhardt's not support, is he, Joaquin? He's a tank. But I'm proud of you.
Literally, the first line that comes out, it's like caught him on the slip up.
But yeah, so bit of OV. Still playing Resident Evil 2. I have basically finished that now. I'm like right at the end. So nice. I'm hoping to finish that off after this podcast, and then I'm going to move on to 3. Although I'm going to do that when I move back to Tilly's, because she kind of likes watching it. She kind of hates it and kind of likes it at the same time. It's like when you see like a car crash and you can't look away. It's like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing that, and then I don't know if I'll
on the Resi kick
buy Resi 4 at that point. Just go 2, 3, 4. Just blitz it. Just So yeah, that's basically me. I haven't really been playing much else, to be honest. Yeah.
Have you had Resident Evil 2 for a while?
Yeah. I bought it in like a really good sale where I got both of them together for like £13 or something. 2 and 3.
Okay. Did you? All right, because I looked on the store and obviously it popped up and it said I owned it. I was like, oh, cool. I'll play this at some point.
I bought them ages ago because they were like £6 a piece, and I was like, that's just ridiculous value. Like, that's absurd.
The Xbox has actually gotten a lot better with their deals, I feel, in the last few years. Like their store used to be kind of shit. Like their deals were like, oh, it's fucking, like 2% off GTA $300 version with shark cards. It's not.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with that. I feel like most games I bought or want to buy, or like a game I like search in the store, I feel like most of the time there's some kind of discount on it. Like it's not often I'm just straight up spending £70 or something like that. They are pretty good with that. Definitely.
Especially with the Game Pass deals and the EA thing. Because I was looking at Jedi Survivor. And obviously we get 10% off just because the EA, what's it called? EA Play? EA Play? Yeah. It's part of Game Pass. So it goes from 69 to 62. Not much, but better than nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Joaquin says, I meant you are the support main. Take a look at this guy. Oh, he was praising me. Sorry, Joaquin. I'll apologize.
Yeah.
It's demanding an apology. Jeez.
Yeah. He's got a lot of power. He's a powerful guy. He's everywhere. Joaquin is everywhere. Every podcast I watch, he's there in the comments. He's
Are you serious?
Did
you watch a lot of podcasts? Oh, okay.
I think I said before, like
sleeping around on podcasts.
Yeah, he had a call in with the Xbox too. He's like, I heard him. He's a powerful man. He's got fingers in a lot of pies. I think he might be pulling the strings. One day we're all gonna like end up in the same place, and he's gonna bomb us all or something, and then he's gonna be the Xbox podcast.
That's such an accusation. My God.
What? Can't accuse someone of wanting to bomb you nowadays.
No, I don't think so.
Such a victim, man.
It's fucking victim energy.
Yeah. That's cool though. That's cool. 2 is the co-op one, right? Resi 2 is the co-op one.
No. Resi 2 is the one that you have 2 campaigns. You can play it as Leon or you can play it as Claire. The co-op one, they start to go co-op at Resident Evil 5 and 6. That's when they start to go co-op.
Oh, I see.
Oh, and there's rumors they might be remaking 5 next. And obviously, 5 was a bit of a shit game. Like, it was fun, but it was shit. So if they were going to remake it, they'd have to, like, change a lot to, like, make it a good game again. Because that's when Resident Evil started to take its downfall a little bit. It was a bit arcadey. It became a bit of like an action shooter. It kind of dropped a lot of the atmosphere. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. Trying to think what I've been doing. I've just been playing. Yeah, we played Overwatch. I've just been playing. What's your GTA?
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah, I get it now. That's good.
it's a good game.
Rockstar are just so above everyone else in writing, but it's crazy. Their writing is so good.
Yeah.
I'm just having a nice time. Just like I'm not really doing any sort of side stuff. I'm just sort of want to beeline the story, but the way they've done it just kind of works. Like it's still the only game that has this like multi protagonist approach. I mean, I know you could argue Last of Us 2 maybe, but these happen concurrently, so it's not you can swap between the characters freely, and some of the mission design is just excellent. Like one of the first missions, you're like, one of you is rappelling down a giant skyscraper, one of you's flying the chopper, and then the other one's the sniper on a building, and it's just like going between them just felt so dynamic, and like the writing between all of it was just really good. So I know I'm like over 10 years late on this, but
Yeah, no, it's a good
what can I
game.
say?
Yeah,
I've never been a fan of GTAs before, but it's just because I hadn't really tried them properly. I hadn't really enjoyed the stories. I think I said last week, played Red Dead 2, and I was like, oh, this is really good. Because after Red Dead 2, I went back and played 1, which I really enjoyed as well. So I'm fairly new to Rockstar games. But yeah, by God, their writing is a cut above everything else in the industry.
Yeah, no, yeah, it is a good game. Yeah, I do remember having a good time with it as well. I think I played it when it was 360. I think I played it on the 360.
I owned it on the 360. I just never played it for long.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy to think that game fucking released on the 360.
Scary, though, no?
Yeah, like Jesus Christ, man. And it's still a good game now. Like it still does look good, and it still does play good, and it, yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah. I was thinking about that because I like if there's one thing to criticize for the Rockstar games, it's like arguably the gameplay. They have to. The encounter design has to be really good to keep you interested, because otherwise it's just like move a tiny white dot around and shoot mods. It's fine, but it's not immensely interesting. But because the encounter design is so good, it's fine. But what it does do is it ages really well because there's no like fluff. It's just like cover shooting mechanics, and it just works well because the mission structures are really good. So just impressive stuff, man. It really is. It's made me almost appreciate a lot of their stuff more, because it's like, and I remember thinking this with Red Dead 2 as well, like they make the story missions feel like linear story missions in terms of like the quality and the polish, but they're not. It's just like all they just pull in the tools and the emergent gameplay from the open world and are like, it's going to happen in this order. Do you know what I mean? And they it's like they create the movie set and then allow the things to happen on the set, instead of like just filming what needs to be done. It's crazy the amount of stuff that's in there. It's really, and again, impressive that was a 360 game.
Yeah, so it's big, very big as well.
It's
quite
big.
dense city.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, Tim, I've got one of all the millions of things to go through, so we're just going to quick fire through these until we get to like one or two less interesting things. Whatever, we'll go as we go. Let's say Xbox stuff and more just general industry stuff, so we'll just go as we like. So what we'll start with is MultiVerses. Did you see about MultiVerses?
I did see about this. Yeah, I saw the controversy on this. Essentially they're
open beta's closing.
Yeah, because which they said that they were gonna keep up for good, right? It was supposed to be sort of in its open beta, free for everyone all the time, but you could buy a founders pack. But like, they're just straight up just shutting it down, right? So like everyone who, at least for now, so everyone who even spent money on like the founders pack, which wasn't cheap, can't actually access the game until 2024.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of absurd.
And I guess I don't think they explicitly said, like, it's always been an open beta, but with it, like you said, like with the founders pack stuff, like it kind of came with the expectation that this is always going to be here now.
Well, it's not an expectation. It should be. I think it's ridiculous, like that it's people spend money and it's not. Considering it's a relatively new game, you could argue if it's like you bought a game ages ago and it just doesn't have the player base, they're just shutting down the servers, then fine, that happens. But it's still quite new. And yeah,
About a year, maybe a year old, right?
yeah,
Maybe a bit
and just
less, 10 months.
taking
Yeah.
a product away from you that you paid for.
Yeah, it's cheeky. Obviously the wiggle room that they've given themselves is that, we always said it was an open beta. It's a bold strategy. I mean, I'm interested because, like, at the same time, there are some games that have done this and like have released in a beta state, you know what I mean, preview, whatever, and it stayed in a preview for years, and then they release it, it lasts another year and then dies, And
Yeah.
MultiVerses kind of had that where it had this really big opening month and then bled players, and it hasn't been that popular since. So, I mean, if it works, I mean, it might set precedent for it, maybe, but at the same time, there's games like Knockout City, for example, is just one example I can think of. I can't think of any others right now. Where if they had just taken that game off for 6 months and just like stuffed it with stuff and made it more appealing, like used the feedback and the data that they got in the time that it was open, it might have seen a resurgence. I don't know.
Potentially. I don't know. I don't have my money on this game coming back in 2024 and actually succeeding. I think it will come back to a very lukewarm reception again, and it will just die off at a pretty low player base. And whether or not they just choose to just can it completely, I can't really see it making a comeback. But
I mean, it doesn't. It depends what we mean, I suppose. It doesn't need to have a massive comeback. It just needs to be good enough to have a dedicated player base.
yeah, exactly.
I guess maybe they're trying to dodge. I mean, supposedly there's still a Mortal Kombat coming out later this year, isn't there? So maybe they're just trying to get out of the way of that and be like, we'll just come out afterwards. And
yeah, maybe. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I wonder. It does make you think what exactly are they planning to do that they couldn't do with the service still being open. Maybe it's just a budget saving thing, or they want to really do some work under the hood if they just couldn't feasibly do it, which would be a bit like a logistical nightmare to do with them on.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one. It'd be interesting to see what they do and how they pull it off. With them obviously still going for the free to play model and stuff like that. If they want to potentially make money off it, they still got to. They can't cram it with too much stuff because they're going to want people to buy battle passes and to buy stuff in the store and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't really know. I feel like they're caught between a rock and a hard place, and I can't really see them going anywhere. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, hopefully it works out. I did like that game.
Yeah, I did like it as well, but it's just tough with. I just feel like it's just live service games and just in general fighting games as well. Like I feel like I don't know this as a statistic, but I feel like fighting games probably have quite a high drop off rate and quite a high like fatigue rate compared to other games.
I'd agree with you.
I don't know. I don't know that, but I know that I can imagine a lot of people that are into fighting games own almost every fighting game on the market, and they probably flick between all of them quite often, like because you just get fatigue on it quite quickly, I think. So yeah, I just think it kind of comes with the territory of the genre as well. But
yeah, no, it's interesting because as well there is that kind of whole thing that it's like it was meant to be kind of a Smash Bros competitor, or and there was a lot of excitement around that, obviously, given that Smash Bros, there hasn't really been any big attempts at a Smash Bros competitor on Xbox and PlayStation and PC. There's been smaller ones. I can't remember what that one's called. Brawlhalla, maybe.
Isn't there like a Crash one coming out soon, or is out, or?
Oh yeah, the Crash League. It was the Wumpa League thing, wasn't it? Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, it looks a bit dodged, to be honest.
Yeah, but, it does. It looks like it's a bit. It could be a bit of a flop, that one. But
So yeah, we'll see. I think it deserves, it deserves attention because it's. I like what they went for. There's a big suite of characters. There are some really cool characters in there that we can get to see in other games. I hope like Gandalf turns up at some point.
Hmm.
That would be cool. The 2 versus 2 focus I thought was really cool. I think some of the underlying systems got a bit sloppy sometimes when they almost felt a bit too fast paced sometimes.
Yeah,
Um, and that was okay. Like I didn't mind it that much, but there were times where sometimes you could. It felt like you were like spamming was working.
yeah,
But
yeah.
maybe that's just the balancing of it. So,
I
but
felt like they tried something different as opposed to, as Joaquin brings up, that Nickelodeon, the All Star Brawls and stuff like that.
that's
Like
right.
they literally are just carbon copies with just different characters. Like at least
Yeah,
this one tried something different with the 2 versus 2 and
definitely.
like the abilities to kind of work with other characters and stuff like that. So you have to respect it for that, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. The Fallout TV show is finished filming, Tim. What
Oh
are the expectations for this show? Have you finished Game of Thrones? I assume you have. Game of Thrones, sorry, Last of Us.
yeah, yeah. I've finished Last of Us. I think you literally just being like, yeah, you watch Game of Thrones, right? Just random tangent. Um, yeah, I have finished Last of Us. Yeah. I don't really know, to be honest. I haven't kept in the loop of this at all. I don't know if there are any famous people in it, like what the cast is looking like. I really don't know anything about this Fallout TV show. I have to be honest.
The only name that I can remember is Walter Goggins. Walter Goggins,
Walter
Walter Goggins.
Goggins. What's he been in?
Yeah, he's like a B-list celebrity.
Feel like we've
I
had this
think
conversation before.
we have. He was in what's it called?
Oh yeah, I
Why
know
can't
him.
I,
Walter
why
Goggins.
can't I
Yeah,
remember that?
yeah, I know the
But he's
guy.
been in some big shows. He's been in Django. He's been in Hateful Eight. Ant-Man
Yeah,
and the Wasp.
yeah. I don't know. Obviously, with coming off the high of Last of Us, I feel like it's got a lot of pressure on its shoulders. To
It does, but it's also an original story.
yeah, exactly. But then I don't know. Will people really care? At the end of the day, people are just going to click on a show and consume it and compare it to Last of Us, whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful for it. I've always said the Fallout is a pretty good setting for a TV show, and I feel like if it's done well, it could be done. It could be good. So, but I don't really know what's the targeted release date for this. Is it this year or is it like? I'm assuming if it's finished filming, obviously it still has to
Ooh, I
go
don't
through a
know.
load of like editing it and stuff like that. But be interesting to know
Late
if it.
23.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, I'm hopeful, but I still remain skeptical with the video game to TV media transition.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm not putting it on a pedestal. I'm not expecting it to perform as good as Last of Us. I'm not expecting it to perform
No.
fantastic in general. But if it comes out quite shit hot, I'll be happy and I'll give it a watch.
Yeah, I'm still a bit meh on these things. Yeah, I don't know. I guess there just needs to be more of a track record, doesn't there? Because I did love Cyberpunk, and I really liked Arcane as well. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, it'd be interesting
Oh
how
my
they
god, the
do.
kid from Hannah Montana's in it.
Oh no way.
Yeah, man.
It'll be interesting to see if how they do the VATs. As Joaquin says, the only thing I want from the show is for at some point everything to slow down, percentages be assessed for taking certain shots. Yeah, that'd be
Please
interesting
no.
because that is literally just like that's such a big part of the Fallout world and stuff like that is VATs, isn't it? So
I don't know, man. There are some things that I think with
maybe they'll
these
just leave it out. Yeah.
they just need some of these things that like I think they just need to be like this one doesn't work in a TV show. And like
Yeah.
if we're doing it, all it is like kind of cringy fan service. It's like in the Halo show when they kept doing first person shots I was like, this is so weird. Like,
Yeah.
I know this is from a video game. You don't need to. Do you know
Well,
what I mean?
they did it with that Doom movie as well, didn't they? Remember the Doom one
Yeah.
with Dwayne the Rock, and they went all like first person, and it was just weird. Like, you're on like a fucking like rail shooter ride, and it just looks so weird.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
zombies are just like, oh, and he's like, poof, like, it's like what? It just looks so
Yes,
shit.
please. Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
But yeah,
Cool. We got breaking news, Tim. It's breaking. Just like my spirit and my will to go on.
wow.
Western Digital are about to launch a new Xbox expandable storage card. How good is that?
Great.
Isn't that exciting? This has actually been a really big talking point in the community. Like dead serious. Like people have been pissed that there haven't been any, like the proprietary thing that Xbox has made with Seagate hasn't really dropped in price, and that actually the PlayStation 5 version, finicky though it may be, to unscrew and get stuff in, there are lots of versions because they didn't make a proprietary one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's obviously lots of cheaper models. That's actually been like quite a big complaint. So this is good.
Yeah. I guess it's nice to see another manufacturer go at it and maybe have a more cost-effective solution. And yeah, I don't know, maybe there'll be more to come in the future. So
it's cheaper. A new spotted by Best
Seagate
Buy
are pretty
priced at
good.
$179.
Still seems pricey.
Yeah, well, just comparison by dollars. The Seagate options were $220.
Okay, so it is a cheaper option. Yeah.
Yeah,
Who did you say this one was
slightly
being made by?
Western Digital.
Oh yeah, I know Western Digital. Yeah, WD. Yeah.
I recognize the logo,
big.
but I didn't know that's what it stood for. WD.
Yeah, no, they're big in like the storage media and stuff like that. So, cool. Yeah,
good. Oh no, we'll just save that for later. We don't need that now. Zelda, Tim. Zelda happened. That was there's 10-minute gameplay of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of my ass. What are you gonna say?
No,
nice.
I wasn't.
It's top quality humor.
I wasn't going to say that. Yeah. So the internet. I think the reception was generally positive, but there was some mixed reception as well.
I liked it.
Yeah, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I watched the full 10 minutes or 13 minutes of gameplay that they gave. I like the look of it, man. I thought it looked really cool. I thought it was I thought the whole like fusing thing was pretty cool. I feel like it's going to be quite goofy in a lot of ways. But I thought it looked quite cool. I thought it's nice that you can take the kind of boring stuff like sticks and like shields and shit like that doesn't really seem interesting and you would leave on the floor in the first game, and you can fuse it with just like random stuff as you walk around to like create something, like more effective. Like as stupid as it looked when he like fused the mushroom to his shield and stuff like that, it was kind of cool that when an enemy whacked it, it created like a smoke cloud, and then you were like lost in their vision, and then you could go up behind them and sneak attack them. Like it's a cool gameplay mechanic, even though it does look a bit funny. You've essentially they've just clipped like a mushroom onto the shield. It's not graphically very impressive, but it expands like quite a lot that you can do with the game, and it'd be interesting to see what you can do with like the higher tier weapons and fusing it with other higher tier weapons or something like that. It's kind of crazy, and I really like the whole using like monster parts to like fuse like into your arrows and stuff. Cool. I really like that, like the Keysai that made it like homing. Like I thought that was such a cool idea, because I remember when I played Breath of the Wild, I just had like 1,000 Keysais in my inventory that just did nothing. So it's just like now they have
you can make a soup. You can make a soup, I guess.
yeah, and now they just have like multiple purposes and stuff like that. So yeah, in terms of that, I think it looks great. Having a look at like the world like above in the clouds looked a bit more expansive than I was hoping. When in other gameplays like I've seen it, it kind of was just like little blotches here and there, but it genuinely looks like there is a lot of like land and a lot of surface up there and a lot of stuff to explore, as well as the world below as well. So I was generally quite impressed about it. I didn't see anything that I would deem negative when watching that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think most of the criticism was levied against kind of the reuse of most of the map.
Yes,
You know,
yeah, it's going to be
and
Hyrule. Yeah,
and again, it's one of those things where like you can feel the Switch hardware really chugging.
hmm
I
hmm
mean, I don't think I saw any. I mean, maybe there were a few frame dips, but like more like on the resolution side, they're like some of those are like ugh, some of those textures look ugly. Yes, it's I know, it's just graphics, whatever. That's just what some of the criticisms were being levied against
yeah.
from what I could see.
It,
Um,
I feel like the style does a good job at hiding that as well, though. I don't think it's as
yeah,
bad as you think, and I
yeah,
also think stream quality comes into play there as well. I think it will look better when it's on your TV and actually playing it. But yeah, I agree.
yeah, no
It
doubt.
doesn't look fantastic, and it probably will not run great because the Switch is a fucking dinosaur when it comes to trying to run these games coming out in 2023 now. They definitely,
Yeah,
it's been fucking posted a billion times all over the internet, but they definitely do need like a Switch 2 or like another
yeah.
console now. I do agree.
Yeah. And the other thing that for me personally was disappointing was like the combat looked exactly the same. That's one of my biggest criticisms of the first game.
Hmm
It's one of the things that I'm absolutely baffled that I don't. I want to understand why people like really enjoyed that part of the game. Like I just don't understand. I want to, but
Yeah.
I played for the whole thing and I was like, this is so clunky. I hate it.
hmm
And don't get me wrong, there were some redeeming parts. Like the bow always felt good because you could use the gyro, and like the fact you could throw stuff, and like the
Yeah.
perfect dodge mechanic was kind of cool. But outside of those things, it it just kind of felt really not good. And that
Yeah.
looks the same. It's just a bit disappointing for me because I
I'd
liked
agree.
the game overall. I like Breath of the Wild overall. And those in the trailer, yeah, the systems, the fuse thing, and the recall abilities, they're insane. They're like absolutely crazy levels of like systems just being thrown into the open world. Like that's super cool. Like
Yeah. The shit you could
and
make to like
yeah,
traverse the map and stuff like that it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, definitely.
exactly. Yeah, and I like it's they've doubled down on the systems in that map rather than like trying to take, you know, Link somewhere else,
Mm.
which is like I think ultimately it's the right move, and I do trust that team. You know, they're good at what they do. Um, but it's it's understandable that I think from a 10-minute clip, a lot of people saw the same high roll with the same points of interest and the same stuff, and they were like, ugh,
Agreed.
okay, there's some rocks floating in the sky, but
Agreed.
like I've been here and I've done this, so yeah, we'll see. It'll get 10 out of 10s across the board, regardless of what we think.
Yeah,
To be
it would
honest,
definitely get high scores. Yeah.
it's going to be game of the year. Starfield doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I just still don't have that Breath of the Wild fatigue, so I'm still excited to go back into the wild. Like, I played Breath of the Wild and really enjoyed it, but I never got to the point where like I played it so much, like a lot of people out there have, that they're just like, oh, it's the same map, it's the same combat, all that. Like I still quite looking forward to jumping back into that a little bit with some new additions. But yeah, I do agree about the combat, but they do a great job. It's almost Dishonored in its own way, like how you approach
Mhm.
combat scenarios and
It
stuff like
is. The
that.
sandbox is
Yeah,
great. Yeah.
but then once you've done that initial like gank or like initiation on the battle that was creative, yeah, the combat is just like you're just like, okay, now I'm kind of just dancing around hitting things.
Yeah. Like I'm
That's
playing
when
with
it
one
gets
hand behind my
boring.
back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's when it gets boring. Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, the game's going to do insane. I don't think it'll be interesting to see the story and the threat as well, because the whatever the main enemy is does look quite like menacing and quite cool and quite evil. Like that could be quite interesting. Hopefully, it's not fucking
Mhm.
Ganon again in some form. Um,
It's Ganon's wife.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
Ganon's angry ex.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting, but I don't think it'll get as. I think it'll be a lower score than the first Breath of the Wild. I don't think it'll get higher.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
that's my prediction. Well, what did
that's
the
pretty
first
big.
Breath of the Wild get? Like 94 or something?
105?
105. Yeah, it was like 94, 95. I don't think it got over 95, did it? I can look this up quickly.
Yeah, have a quick look. Yeah, it does. It really does irritate me because I'm like, on paper, Breath of the Wild is like a really dead game. It's a really dead game. Like I liked the original Zeldas. Like I didn't love them. They were like a bit before my time. I've played and completed the Ocarina of Time since on the remake on the 3DS, and I thought it was great. I thought some things didn't age all that well, but overall, it still held up as a good game.
96. Jesus Christ.
26. Is that
Yeah.
fucking crazy? That's higher than Elden Ring.
Yeah, I just don't think Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom is going to get a 96 or higher. Like I feel like it might like even out like a 93 or a 94 or something like that. It's still going to absolutely fucking be insane, but I think it's going to be lower than Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, we'll see. I think there is like an interesting thing of like it's been long enough now between the first and the second that like the nostalgia has just started to kick in. Do you know what I mean? Like those rose tinted glasses have just started to infect people's brains,
Yeah.
and I think that will just pump the scores up, and that's probably strategic from Nintendo. Do you know what I mean? They've probably like they've taken their time with it, of course, because they want to make it a good game. But they're probably like, we can afford to go for another 2 years because it's what we do. We live in the nostalgia center of people's brains.
It's true. Yeah.
Remember your mum? No. Remember your granddad? No. Remember Zelda? Yeah.
Yeah. They're like absolute psychological experts in that part of the brain. Yeah. They're just like fucking magnificent.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I think God of War Ragnarok was 1 point below the first God of War. I think the same maybe with Last of Us as well was like 1 point below the first.
Yeah.
And in my mind, those were both like a decent chunk worse than the first ones. So, and I think that is kind of the community consensus as well. Or maybe I'm wrong. I feel like that is the community consensus, but the critical reception, when the press have been playing with it for like 2 weeks and they're fucking, they're screaming, they're all messaging each other like, have you fused this and this? And they're so excited. And then they give it a 10 out of 10. And then, I don't know. It is what it is. I think there's an interesting dynamic with sequels and like critically acclaimed games. I think like if they made an Elden Ring 2, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to look at objectively. Not that you can review objectively, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay. E3, Tim. E3's dead. It's gone. Well, they cancelled it, didn't they? Yeah. E3's been cancelled for this year.
And it's probably not coming back, is it?
Yeah. No, I don't think it's coming back.
Yeah. Which is crazy to think. Because it was like the one, wasn't it? It was like the big boy right. Like a few years back, and now it's just like fucking 6 feet under. Like how the hell did that happen? So everyone fought to be at E3 to get to E3. It was it's crazy.
It's kind of just COVID. It's kind of just a really bad time for them. I mean, like I think the ESA, who runs the E3, have drawn criticism in the last 5 years or so because they were quite exploitative with like prices and a bit shitty in a couple of other ways. But COVID came, then they couldn't do it, so everyone just started doing their own digital shows, and they were like, oh. Fuck. It was just as good, and it was just as good, and it cost us a fraction of the money. And the ESA were like, God damn it.
Yeah. They're all sitting there like, they're going to come crawling back. Don't you worry. Yeah. And they're like, have you seen this show? And they're like, fuck. We're fucked.
But also, they didn't adapt. Like, I don't know. They didn't adapt.
No. Yeah, they didn't.
Jeff Keighley did the Summer Game Fest, and he's been doing the Game Awards. And he's been doing that just fine digitally, okay, it has its own drawbacks. Sometimes it's a bit nebulous and a bit drawn out, but I don't know why they didn't just make an E3 digital.
Yeah, Like genuinely, yeah, I think they were just too. I think they relied too much on their weight in the industry and their brand, and they were just like, "Yeah, I'll be fine. That'll carry us. We can wait it out." And it's just like, "Nah, you've missed the boat now, fellas. It's too late."
And yeah, it's weird because it still is to a degree, isn't it? Like it has so much brand power, but like we still call it E3, even though there's no E3 this year. Whenever we're talking about the Xbox showcase, we say E3.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's just a catchiness to it.
yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Should we come over and watch Summer Game Fest? Yeah.
E3 is like old record labels that people found you can upload directly to SoundCloud and made them irrelevant. Lol. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That is the sort of situation they're in.
I suppose that's maybe what they were trying to offset a little bit with their physical shows. So, places like IGN can't just live stream it and get as many views or, upload the trailers afterwards or whatever. Yeah, it's kind of sad. I mean, it is quite funny though, because I think I see a lot of videos about this, and I think sometimes maybe content creators don't quite get this, that nobody else kind of feels the same way about it. Like it's sad in the sense that it was a fun weekend, but a lot of content creators, a lot of journalists are like, this is the end of an era. Gaming is taking a hit, and I'm like, okay, I get it, but obviously for them, they would get like paid for flights out for the weekend. They get to meet people who they've spoken to internationally, but maybe not in person. They get to speak with devs in the same way that maybe us plebs wouldn't get to. I'm joking. I'm not trying to be mean, but I think the rest of us are kind of like, it's sad, but we've still got a time of the year where there's going to be game trailers and stuff like.
Yeah, exactly.
So. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Jeff Keighley's going to hoover up all that attention. and as well, like straight after they announced it, Jeff Keighley, like an hour later, announced the official date for the Summer Game Fest, which was June 8th. So it's like 3 days before the Xbox One.
It's literally piling dirt on top of them.
Yeah. Man knows what he's doing. Man's got a plan. Oh, boy. Bet you're all excited for Ark 2, Xbox exclusive Ark 2.
I've been waiting for that game for so long.
Oh, I've got some bad news for you. You're going to have to wait a bit longer.
No way.
Yep. You're going to have to wait a bit longer. You have to wait till the end of 2024.
What, to play Vin Diesel game?
Yeah, Vin Diesel game, that's right.
The Vin Diesel RTS. Top-down Gears of War cover shooter.
I don't think it's RTS top-down cover shooter. I'm not sure what that means.
Well, no one knows what it is. That's the point.
Well, and here's the other thing, right? They're taking Ark 1. No, they're making a next-gen version of Ark 1 in the meantime, which is great. Go ahead. But they're removing the previous gen version. They're just getting rid of it at the end of the year, which I think is kind of weird. It's like, people have been playing your shitty optimized game for like 7 years now. They will continue to do so. You don't need to get rid of it.
Yeah. What does that mean, though? Does that mean, like, what about, like, Switch? People, like, just removing it off Switch. Yeah, it is.
There's no way.
Ark's on Switch, dude. Ark's been on Switch.
There's no way.
Yeah, it was like.
You joking?
No, it was like one of the worst fucking like ports like ever. Like it ran at like 10 frames. I think it might be a bit better now, but Ark's been on Switch for like a year, dude.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that must be like a slideshow.
It's bad. Yeah, and the render distance, you got like there's like just fog like 10 feet in front of you until you walk forward.
Nah.
Yeah, dude.
Do you know, Ark has some of the most deceptive screenshots of any media I've ever seen. Like you click on the screenshots for this game and you're like, holy shit. Oh my god. And then you play it and it's like that fucking Jurassic Park on the flute.
Yeah, like genuinely. It's fucking so I wonder what's gonna happen with that then if they're only doing next gen. Like I wonder if they're just gonna bin the Switch version as well, or if they're.
I think they will. Yeah, I think they will.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Such a weird game. Why is there an Ark 2?
Okay, it's a bit weird.
Okay, speaking of weird, Tim.
Yeah.
Do you know what's weird? The quantum realm. Quantum entanglement, that's weird stuff, isn't it? It's a bit spooky.
It's a bit weird.
Do you know what else is quantum? Quantum break.
My brain. Oh.
I got a quantum brain.
Quantum Break. What about
Yeah.
Quantum Break, Dave?
It's on the leave Game Pass section for this month, and nobody knows if it's like a bug or if it's actually leaving. But it hasn't been like It's been like 5 days now that it's been there, and everyone's like,
Don't we own that studio? Whoever made it.
There's Remedy. No, Xbox doesn't own Remedy, but it is an Xbox exclusive game. So it's caused some confusion about whether if Xbox own the rights or not. But even then, that's still a bit concerning. Like it opens kind of a bit of a can of worms.
Yeah.
Like Xbox don't own Outer Worlds, for example.
Worlds. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that going? Even though it's an Obsidian game, obviously we're not exclusive, but it was an Obsidian game.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's quite the leap to make, right? Why would you leap and make that assumption for a studio that we do actually own over a studio that we don't?
The link is that if Xbox don't own the rights, can stuff be yanked off Game Pass? Like Sunset Overdrive is another example. Oh no, I think they own Sunset Overdrive actually. No, they own the rights. They do own the rights.
Yeah, I guess so.
It just opens the door to, I think, stuff being removed that maybe there was no question. It was like if it came from a first party studio, if it was an exclusive game, they on Game Pass and they're there and they're yours forever.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, speaking from like a legal standpoint, yeah, probably, right? if you don't fully own it, then yeah. There's a chance it can just be ripped away from where you want it. Yeah, definitely.
It's just so weird because Quantum Break is such a Xbox, aligned game.
Mm. Yeah, it literally is only on Xbox, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we maybe got PC port at some point. I don't know.
But... yeah, that is a bit weird. Yeah. Especially like in the sort of stage it is in its life anyway. I mean, who's gonna go out there and buy Quantum Break at this point when it leaves Game Pass? So like the only clicks or plays it's gonna get will come from Game Pass. It's a bit weird that it won't be in it. But
yeah. And I just was, agreeing with what Joaquin said. This is why you buy studios, to avoid all this confusion. It's exactly what I was thinking. Just fucking scoop them up. None of this timed exclusivity bullshit. Just you and mine now. Look at me.
Yeah, you work for me. Yeah,
I am the captain now.
True.
Yeah, it's weird because as well, it does set this kind of. It would really annoy me because I think at some point Xbox is going to have to reevaluate how they. Like what they do with first party titles on Game Pass. Like at some point that library is going to be so big just with first party titles. It's just like, what, are they just all going to be there all the time? So you've got like 300 first party titles and then you've got a further 300 third party titles. It's like that's excessive and people aren't going to be able to get any value out of that, even if you charge more or whatever. So at some point, I think they will have to reevaluate. And I'm just wondering, is this the start of that, where Xbox is starting to whereas those parameters before were broadly accepted to be, like I said, if it's an Xbox exclusive game, it's owned by a first party studio, it's in there and it'll be there forever. Maybe that's kind of shrinking a little bit now.
Yeah, maybe forever isn't really forever. Yeah.
Profound. Forever is not really forever.
It's true. I mean, what really is forever? Forever in my sense is just to the end of my lifetime. But obviously, time goes on past me. So
does it?
What do I perceive? Jesus, dude.
I mean, am I still here when you close your eyes? Like, can you definitively prove that?
Yeah, I could close my eyes and still remain on this call with you, and I'm talking to you. You're still here, Deck.
No, you can't.
What do you mean? No, I can't.
That's just a construction. You can't prove I'm here, you know? Schrodinger's deck. Schrodinger's resume podcast.
What does Schroding mean?
Schrodinger's cat. You know, it's like the experiment where like there's a cat in a box, but then he's not really in the box. So, and you can't really tell he's in the box because you can't see him in the box. You know, it's quantum physics stuff.
What if I had my eyes closed, picked up the box and shook it, and he's bouncing around in the box? I know he's in there. I can't see him, but I know he's in there.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
You know something's in there.
He's bouncing around and he's going, ring. I know he's in there.
Well, it might just be a recording of a cat going, ring. Look, don't argue with me. I didn't make this fucking. It's just, it's what it is. It's quantum physics. It's fucking pseudoscience. Actually, you know,
it's fucking bullshit.
Don't cancel me. Quantum physics is pseudoscience. Can't prove it, you know.
It's like psychology, isn't it?
Yes. Sort of. That's why they call it soft science. Right. Quantum break my brain. Xbox ends its £1 Game Pass deal.
No. I mean, it's actually, I mean, the amount of times I've told someone that they can join for like £1 is actually, it's a thing. I use that. Like, I remember when I was just like, my dad got an Xbox and I was just like, yeah, why not get an Xbox? There's loads of games, all this sort of stuff. And you can literally just like join Games Pass for like £1 and just play a couple of the titles you really like and then cancel.
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore.
No, that's a shame.
I've missed sort of information. If he went on and bought it now without thinking, just punched in his details, thinking to charge him £1, it hasn't. I'm no longer his son in his eyes. That's it. I've lied to him.
Schrodinger's Tim.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is crap.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit weird. There was a...
Fuck you.
There was a bit of a... It was £1 for us as well, right?
It's true. Schrodinger.
And it shouldn't be, but that's fucked. The king's pound is still a bit stronger. Only a little bit.
For now.
Yeah, for now. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we should just move to America, Tim.
I think we'd flourish in America.
I think I could. There's really bad regulation around like psychology in America, so I could just like talk shit and call it therapy and take lots of money. No, I'm very good. I'm very good.
He's not.
I'm excellent.
He diagnosed me as having gravy brain the other day.
What's the problem?
That's the thing, Tim. And it's pretty fucking serious.
I keep trying to help you, but you keep saying I'm bad at my job, and it's like that's a deflection. It's not really helping. You've got gravy coming out your ears. It's a problem.
It's not a problem when I've got dry food in front of me.
What?
They could use a bit of gravy.
You can really tell this is a quiet news week, can't you?
Yeah. Keane's having a great time. That's all that matters.
That's good. Yeah, that is literally that is the only thing that matters. Should we go to New York?
No, fucking get on to the next part. New York.
Right. It's quite expensive, but I'll be charging like $120 an hour, so that'll be fine.
Okay.
A few things. I've got ethical principles here, but I don't really have them. I don't have to have them in America, you know. So
it's true. You can leave them all behind.
Exactly. I'm just going to hit you with a hammer. You'll feel bad.
Yeah, you'll feel pain for like a few days. Once the swelling goes down, you'll be cured.
Yeah. You might not feel much, like ever again, really. If I've hit the right part.
Yeah, you might forget some very special memories to you as well. However, it's all part of the process. There's give and take to this. To cure you, you lose some memories. It's not free, you know. Speaking of which.
Yeah.
$120.
Give me your money. Yeah. So I guess I should have gotten your money afterwards, right?
It's
just
contactless,
speaking
man.
to it like a corpse on the
Just hit him
floor.
with a hammer and just keep tapping his contactless on your thing. It's
Yeah.
done.
Oh, that's so generous of you. Wow.
So many tips.
Yeah. It's like not a thing to tip a therapist, but in this, I'll make an allowance in this occasion.
Yeah.
I really shouldn't be. All right. PSVR 2, Tim.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares about VR? Am I right? Am I right, fellas?
Mm-hmm.
Apart from you fucking porn addicts out there watching titties on VR.
Don't knock it till you try it, man. That's all I can say.
It's not
just
selling so
look
well.
at my background. You see, I've got a PSVR 2.
Yeah.
Like, slowly cover it up. Put a blanket over it. It's like next to a box of tissues and like lube.
Just in the corner, just an overflowing bin.
Yeah.
I've had a cold.
Yeah. Oh god.
All right, PSVR 2, Tim. This is more interesting. Come on.
Yeah. What about it?
It's not selling well.
No?
It's selling really bad.
Damn.
You know?
It's almost like we saw
Isn't
this
that a
coming.
shame? Right. Yeah. I mean, here we go. Here's the kicker. Is Xbox justified in not investing in VR as a result of this not doing well so far?
Yeah, I think so. I said this as well when it was coming out. I said the PSVR looks like a good bit of kit. It looks like great equipment. I just don't think that it's just very niche market. It's just I don't feel like you make your money back with the amount of people that enjoy VR for the cost it is to make it, to fund it, to make it, to build the games for it, all that. I just don't think there's profit in it right now. So yeah, I think it was smart for Xbox to just ignore the VR market and just go cloud. Just focus more into cloud.
Yeah. It's I mean it's because its launch was widely received as positive, right? There were some drawbacks, like it was still wired was one of them, like Joaquin says, that there was no backwards compatibility was another, but like the tech that was there was really good. It's just like it just remains an enthusiast machine.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. And it's got some good games in it. I mean, that Horizon, came out to a very highly received. Yeah, it's like mid-80s or something. So like, you can clearly do it, but it's just like, again, it's just not. It just won't sell like enough for them to profit, even if you make a good game on it. Like. Yeah.
I've said it before. I don't think there's a world where VR catches on in the mainstream. I know people have said the same before about video games and about smartphones and even fast food. Like Beth's, where was it? Beth's great granddad? I can't remember. Hope she doesn't kick down the door to come and correct me. But one of her family members had the opportunity to invest in McDonald's early on. And
really?
Because he thought that fast food won't catch on. Everybody wants to go to a restaurant and sit down to eat out.
Wow, pretty kicking himself now.
Yeah. Which is why I'm excited to announce that the Quick Resume podcast has bought 6,000 shares in PlayStation VR.
What do you mean, the Quick Resume podcast? Where's my wallet?
You look at your details. It's by your headset. You're like swiping.
It is actually by my headset, to be fair.
Okay, well, while we're ragging on Sony, God, we hate Sony. God, I hate PlayStation. God, I hate Nintendo. Yeah, I love Xbox. Isn't Xbox the best? I hate everything else. I hate food.
Yeah, food is just a means to an end for me to continue playing Xbox. If I don't eat, I
Yeah.
die, and I can't play Xbox. So
Yeah. I think of it like a stamina bar.
yeah, exactly.
The Last of Us Part 1 remake. I can't remember. You
One
know
of
what
them.
I'm talking about. It had a PC port, didn't it? And that
Mhm.
PC port was shit. Apparently,
Yes, I have heard it.
it's
Shit. Yeah.
sitting at like 60 on OpenCritic at the moment or something. Let me check. It's very important that I know exactly what this is.
It's interesting that it has such a shit port because you think for such a beloved IP game and everything like that, you'd want Sony to give it to a trustworthy company to port this or to do it properly themselves.
Well, Naughty Dog just did it.
Oh, not really. It wasn't like done because sometimes they get like other companies to like port this sort of stuff, don't they?
Yeah, I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure that's right. It's just Naughty Dog.
Wow. Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think they rushed it out? Any coincidences? Anything else happened that might make them want to rush it out? Give you a hint. It's on TV.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
That's the one. Pedro
yeah,
Pascal.
the TV show.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is some speculation that this has been rushed out the door to capitalize on the success of the TV show.
Yes, I think you probably don't even need to speculate. It's probably just what happened.
And these are like some S tier bugs as well. Like I've seen some of the screenshots. This is like Ellie riding on a horse and her back is snapped and she's just like walking like no, like nothing's wrong. And there's like people spinning around upside down in the back of cutscenes. Like these are the best sorts of bugs. You know, the game crashes every 6 seconds as well. But when people do get in, they're mental.
I love bugs like that though. I think they're hilarious. Yeah, Wacky says my fave bug was Joe in blackface.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like literally.
Oh god. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny as fuck, man. And yeah, also just God, when was the last time you saw something released like that? It's been a while since a game is released that bad.
Yeah. It's on 56 on Metacritic. It's got a 1.7 user score. User scores or whatever, but you know.
And I'm assuming this is a money £70 game as well.
I assume so. Yeah,
that's fucking crazy. That's absurd, man. They've the amount of refunds they probably issued is out of this world.
Yeah, it's riled up maybe Cyberpunk. It's riled up a bit of a debate around. Firstly, like, oh, will the media ever talk about this? You know, whatever. It's less of a big deal. It's a port. You know, most people have played it. It's a port of a fucking remaster. That's probably why. There's your answer. But the second thing, which I think is more poignant. That's a good word, isn't it? Poignant.
Poignant. I've never heard that word be used before.
That is such a good word. There's a G in it. There's a G in that word.
Poignant.
I think. Oh god, maybe there's not.
No, I've never.
Am I speaking English? Yeah, poignant. Poignant.
I've never heard that word be used before.
Yeah, evoking a keen sense of sadness or regret, or sharp or pungent in taste or smell.
Wow.
I might be using a bit out of context here, to be honest, but I'm going to go ahead.
Hey, go for
it's out of context here.
Flex on these kids.
Let me just get back on track. The Xbox devs all have to make games for 2 SKUs, PC and last gen.
Yeah.
And the technical difficulties that come with that, it's made some people say, "Oh, look how much we should appreciate Xbox and all the work they do, making their devs make these games on so many devices." And then Naughty Dog, best in the world, Naughty Dog couldn't even get a remaster right. Obviously, I'm not saying that. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue, given them a bit more time, it probably would have come out just as polished, right? And it would have had the Naughty Dog stamp on it. You could argue this is down to a crunch time and that sort of stuff. But I mean, yeah, you could definitely look at it and put Xbox in a positive light that they managed to do all this and get it out to equal standards on all platforms.
Mhm.
It is impressive. Yeah.
And I think like it's not the first time this has happened that PlayStation have put out a delayed PC port. Like I think they've got a bit of a mixed track record, to be honest. I think
Hmm.
Horizon was another really bad one. I think Spider-Man
Yes.
did okay. I
I don't think
think Death
any of them
Stranding
have been
was good.
exceptional. I don't think any of them have been to like the
No,
same quality or as the
no,
PlayStation
yes.
one. Um, yeah.
And of course, like PlayStation acquired Nixxes Studio as well. I think it's Nixxes. I'll have to check. But I think they were meant to be the team that helps the first party studios port to PC, and maybe they're not fully integrated yet, or because I don't even think Nixxes was on the credit for this port anywhere. So I don't know. But having said that, I don't think they were on for the previous ones either. So I'm sure they're involved somehow. But yeah, it's clearly they clearly, if they're going to do this thing where they wait 6 months to 2 year to release it on PC and then release it at poor quality, like it's not a good look.
No, no, definitely not. Yeah, they need to sort out that side of their of their business if they want to keep branching out into PC. That's for sure.
Why is it the pens just stop giving you ink sometimes? What
I
is that
can't.
about?
I got to tell you, man. I can't remember the last time I used a fucking pen.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't. If I make a note, I do it on my phone or I do it on like a like OneNote on my PC or something like that. Or I barely ever write stuff down anymore.
Well, I need to write stuff. I find I retain stuff better when I write it down.
Uh,
I don't know. Like when I go to
yeah.
uni, I still write stuff down, and there is actually a bit of evidence behind writing versus typing that it is a bit better for memory. Like I do the same with my clients' notes as well. Like scribble stuff down.
Okay.
Don't know
Interesting.
why. Yeah,
Well, I guess it's just more effort that goes into it than typing to
arguably.
writing.
Yeah.
So maybe your brain just sort of retains it better.
Yeah, arguably. It's the same reason why, like also therapeutically, like I think there is a bit of evidence behind like written journals over typed journals. Oh, doing one is better than none, but writing seems to have a bit of a special quality to it.
Mm.
Again, I don't write everything down. I do a lot of stuff electronically, but there are some things that I need to write down. Otherwise, but also I get distracted as well. Do you do that when you like go on your laptop to make a note and then you click on a notification and 3 hours later you're like watching what like conspiracy theories about why Diddy Kong did 9/11?
Yeah, I did see that one actually. Yeah, it was a good one.
It's good.
Um,
It's good.
yeah, convinced me. Um,
Yeah.
no, not really. Actually, I find I don't really get distracted that easily on my machines.
Well, good
Just
for you,
better
man.
than you.
Skill issue.
Just built different. Yeah, distraction diff.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to believe this. That was all of the honorable mentions, and there's two actual bigger stories. So I'm going to do the one. I'm going to start with the one
Well,
that
we
I
spent
think's
an
fun.
hour and 15 minutes on the honorable mentions. So,
Well,
gotta
like I
love it.
said, it's a weird episode, man. It's a weird week.
Yeah.
So next thing is the Diablo console.
Oh yeah, I
There's a
saw
Diablo
this.
console, Tim.
I'm
Yeah.
confused about this.
What's confusing?
What is it? Is it just a regular console with the game, or
No, it's
or
got
will it have its own design and stuff?
yeah, it's powered by a mini Satan.
No way! There's a little devil in there.
Yeah, he channels the power of hell through your Xbox, and
That's
powers it, yeah.
amazing.
It's pretty
I
good,
still
isn't
don't
it?
think it's worth
For
the money
only
though.
yeah, for only 50 quid more, I think that's a pretty good deal. You can take him out. You can unscript, take him out, say hello.
Does my Xbox have that glowing red outline that's on that poster?
No,
Does it have
no.
that? No.
Satan doesn't make a growing red outline.
Okay. Yeah. There's a limit to his powers, Tim.
It just stops there. What's that? An eternity of damnation? Nah. Red line? Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, I mean, this was literally it. It was leaked beforehand by Bill Coon that there was going to be an Xbox Series X Diablo bundle, and we were like, "Oh, that's exciting!" Because if you're, I think the only actual like different design they've done so far for the Series X is the Halo one, and the Halo one looked fucking great.
It did, yeah. I liked it.
And because it's just a clean design, the console I feel like it's quite an easy one, quite a good one to just have. It's it's just a blank canvas essentially. It's a shame, and because I think they did a Xbox One X for Cyberpunk. You could argue, or maybe they don't do ones for third-party games that much, but I don't know. Well, they do. Like historically, I think they have done. And Xbox have marketing rights for this as well, right? But it's just a black Xbox. It's just a normal ass Xbox. Doesn't look any different.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, isn't it? And yeah, like Joaquin said, I mean, if you want to buy, if you don't have the console and you want to buy Diablo and the console, you're saving like $10 fucking, I guess.
Yeah,
fantastic. What a saving!
Yeah, it's big.
This is kind of nothing. I feel like this is more. Just pushing.
You do get some digital stuff. I should just be clear. You do get some digital collector stuff. I didn't see what they were, and it's like a couple of pets, couple of skins or some shit.
And these aren't obtainable through any edition you can buy of Diablo without this bundle.
I assume so. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, I guess that's something, but it's definitely more so just because this is going to be releasing on multi-platforms and stuff, multiple platforms, and it's not with the timing of everything. It might not be in Games Pass. It's more just the just associating it with Xbox, right? They're just trying their best to just be like, we kind of do have this. It's not an illusion. It's ours, even though it's kind of everywhere else. Yeah,
exactly.
It's more just trying.
We've got it on our box.
Cram that down your face a little bit. It's kind of just there for the sake of it. It feels a bit rushed, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I guess. Here's the thing, right? PlayStation 5 just had like the estimates that come through from VG charts for console sales. PlayStation 5 had a whopping February, like massive. Like it was like triple what Xbox did, and it was over what Switch did by a comfortable amount as well. And you could argue, the God of War Ragnarok momentum is still going, but more importantly, Hogwarts came out in February.
Yeah,
and PlayStation had the marketing rights for that. And we all know that game did gangbusters, and I've seen some talk online that some people thought that
I did.
Hogwarts is exclusive. Yeah, you said it at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, right. I said it on the show. I genuinely thought it was an exclusive. Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't take all that much. All you just need is the PlayStation logo up at the end. I don't know if PlayStation did a bundle, but they definitely didn't do a special like colored bundle that we're talking about either. Sometimes that's maybe all you need. So maybe it is just that. They're just like, Diablo's gonna hit big and we just want it on our box.
Yeah. I mean,
this squirrel pet.
This stuff done well, it can definitely create the illusion that that's the platform to play it, and it's kind of like the only platform to play it. 100%, yeah. But they could have just done it better, I think, with making like an actual design on the Xbox and stuff like that. I feel like that drives it home a bit more. But obviously maybe they're rushed for time. I don't know, because of this whole deal potentially going through so late and stuff like that. I don't know, but yeah, it's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing. Can't confirm that. At the very least, it is a thing. Okay. I guess at some point we should probably talk about the thing that I've actually titled the video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there's been like, we did touch on it a bit last week, but there's been like increased scrutiny over PlayStation's presence, particularly in Japan. and the anti-competitive nature of it all. Because they've got like a 98% market share in Japan. Obviously, not including Nintendo, but that's not Xbox's fault. That's because the regulators and PlayStation decided it was perfectly okay to have an imaginary new market called the high performance console market.
Yeah.
Why, you ask? Don't know. Schrodinger's brain, innit? Got quantum brain.
They
Is it
put the
there? Is it
switch
not
in a
there?
box. It's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Doesn't
It's that
exist.
pseudoscience again, you know? So, 11 members of Congress have pressed the Biden administration to take efforts over Sony's alleged interference with Microsoft Xbox efforts in Japan. You know, I don't know. Is it stupid? Is it not? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, as long as we're working under the assumption that exclusive content is okay and timed exclusive content is okay, then Sony's done nothing wrong. If we're to acknowledge at some point that strategy can be anti-competitive, well, that's opening a can of worms, can of monkeys, barrel of laughs, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't really see anything wrong with what Sony's done and the market share they have over there. Like I don't see anything that seems unfair to Xbox. And in all fairness, I feel like, you know, potentially Xbox could have made more of an effort as well, but they decided it was just like it was a bit of a lost cause, so they decided to just pump more into the areas they were doing better in anyway. Where I feel like, you know, maybe this wouldn't be as high as it is if they didn't just kind of cut their losses and almost give up in that sort of area as well. But no, I don't really see anything wrong here.
I mean, that's it, isn't it? It's not like with the way things currently are. I don't think they've done wrong. I think if we are going to, you know, open that can of like, can exclusive content be anti-competitive? Then yes, we've spoken about it on this show many times. You know, I think some exclusive content, certain exclusivity deals, I think can be anti-competitive. You know, certain games I think can be. It's why Xbox has said no, we're not going to make COD exclusive, because I think and that's why regulators were so invested in, because they're like, that particular game would be anti-competitive. The same thing that happened with Street Fighter. I would argue that there's a degree of anti-competition there. You know, where it falls on the continuum is not. It's not my place to make that call, but I would argue that was such a pivotal game with the fighting scene that if regulators were paying attention, they would have said, "Well, actually, I'm not sure if we can let you do that." And you know, Japanese. What's going on with Square Enix as well?
Yeah, Final Fantasy.
Again, you could make the argument that Xbox, like the Japanese like gaming community on Xbox is like, it's there, you know, but like the enthusiasts have moved by now, because it's just been it's been strategically locked off.
Yes, yeah.
And that's before getting into stuff like timed exclusivity deals, where like communities are lied to about but you know, given very ambiguous language about when releases are going to happen on other consoles, and then it doesn't, and then deals are extended. Like the whole thing with Final Fantasy still going on is just ridiculous. And like, you know, where does the buck end with this stuff? I've said this before, like hypothetically, why can't you just make a timed exclusive game 10 years long? Like, is that too unreasonable now, or is that fine? Is that like better than an exclusive game, like, because it eventually comes to the next generation of consoles? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then charging full price for it because it's a new release. Like, I think and even worse, like timed exclusive content in multi-platform games, like what Sony used to do with Destiny. You know, take stuff away from players and then give it back when it was no longer usable.
Yeah.
Right. I think some of that stuff is up for debate, and I don't really care what platform that shit affects. Like, if Xbox does or starts doing any of this, I think it's very fair game to be investigated. I think some of that stuff is anti-competitive, but that's not the world we live in. The world we live in is that exclusive content is fine, and that's totally fair play. So it depends if they want to crack that egg, really.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, with that, it's going to come a lot a lot of controversy, probably from both sides, because I think both sides are guilty of this in their own aspects as well. But yeah, like you said, in the world we live in, there's nothing wrong with the way they've done this, and as I said, I feel like if Xbox were really to be like, no, we do want some presence in Japan, we do want some presence in these areas, they could have invested more time, more money. They could have like pumped equal amounts to Square Enix and been like, let's get this multi-plat or like fight Sony for it or something like that. But they kind of did just be like, okay, it's a losing battle. Let's just not focus on that area as well. You know, we'll take what we can. We're happy with the 2%, whatever. You know, I do think there is an element of that as well, and you can see that with the amount that Xbox have splashed out recently. Like they have the money and the resources to probably have given a good go at Japan and try and get that market share back. They just didn't try. They were just like, yeah.
I mean, since the start of this gen, Phil has definitely been trying.
Oh yeah. Recently, absolutely, yeah.
No doubt he's been trying, but it definitely the Xbox One era and that whole thing. You know, I guess maybe the budget just got cut, so they just stopped trying. But even then, the 360 was never did that well in Japan. You know, it was better. Don't get me wrong. Like it made an appearance, but like PlayStation, Nintendo are so culturally rooted over there that's just kind of how it is. And that's not to say that they can't break in or slowly get some part of the pie, but yeah, it's tough. And because it's the same thing. Like obviously, if Xbox wants to get a multi-platform game on their system, they would have to pay more because their market share over there is so small. Like a lot of the developers are just like, there's no point making it for your console, like unless we're literally going to lose money. Like the resources that we put into it versus who's going to buy it, like it's so unimportant, and we can take a bag from Sony who's going to pay us to keep it exclusive. So you've got to cough up a big amount of money to get it, like to get us to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
So there is something to be said about, regardless of the strategy, allowing a platform to get that dominant, for the reasons I just listed. It's like economies of scale stuff. It's like when you're big, it's easier to be big. It's easier to get big and stay big, and it's cheaper to do so. And so you just kind of snowball. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of regulatory bodies. So we'll see, I guess. I've always said that video games, the industry generally needs to be regulated more. Maybe we're gonna hit that. We'll see. And it's also very funny and convenient timing that Japan were like at the same time. Japan were like, "Yep, ABK deal's fine. We'll put it through."
Yeah.
It's like, don't look at us. It's fine. It's fine. We'll put it. Like we get it. We get it. Xbox can have them. Maybe they'll make it. Maybe they'll they can get competitive here again. It's fine. Stop looking.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I mean, do you think this is enough to actually bring up this conversation? Do you think? And actually look into it, or do you think? Oh, I just think it's going to get swept under the rug again.
Yeah, so do I. I think, but given by the looks of how thorough some of these regulatory bodies are, I think one of them would have to actually get involved to get anywhere. Like we've seen quite a lot of pretty nasty shit come out of some of these documents across the Epic Apple deal. With this as well. And like that's, I don't think that's enough for the regulators to get invested. But having said that, it's definitely brought attention to the damage that some exclusivity can do, considering that Call of Duty was the main part of the equation for all of this exclusive content. And you guys said you wouldn't make Bethesda stuff exclusive, and now you are. So that word exclusivity definitely came up a lot. But at the end of the day, the CMA ran all the numbers and they were like, yeah, even if they did, you'll probably be fine. So if they think, if they're provisionally finding that, then there's no chance they're going to give a shit about Final Fantasy being timed exclusive for 2 decades. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The other part of this is Bobby Kotick. I think, what did he do? He did like a blog or some shit, whatever he does. And he spoke about, he said specifically when talking about PlayStation and whether they'll still put games on PlayStation, he said that it was disappointing behavior from a partner of over 30 years, especially that I don't want a deal. I just want to block your merger bit from Jimbo. Sorry, I don't have the exact quotes, but this is to the effect of what was said.
Mm.
I just think that's funny. It's funny that it's like, God, you've been a pain in my ass, but God damn it, I'm still going to give you my games because I need my 7th yacht and my 3rd holiday house. I couldn't bear not buying a holiday house this year.
Yeah, it's just too much for me.
Yeah. Where am I going to take all my assault victims?
Yeah.
Bit dark, maybe.
Was disappointing behaviour over 30 years. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite funny that. It calls him out, but then still it's just like, we still want your money though. Like,
yeah.
Let's not burn this business bridge.
Yeah. But I guess, of course, he's not going to like punish PlayStation players. You know, do you know what I mean? He's going to like, we're not going to.
Exactly.
Well, that was what he said anyway. But it's just funny that he explicitly called him out. It was like, this was disappointing behaviour from such a long-standing partner that they didn't want to help us facilitate this deal that we wanted. You know, they weren't being, remember, they're not being hostile takeover. Activision wanted to be bought, so they wanted everyone to be happy. But PlayStation were like, we just want to block this shit. No, we don't want you to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. I mean, it came off so childish, didn't it? Even we said it, it was ridiculous. Yeah.
Because there were a lot of people were saying this of like, oh, of PlayStation burnt bridges. You know, after even if the deal doesn't go through, are Activision going to work with PlayStation again? I was like, of course they fucking are.
Oh yeah,
money.
Definitely. Yeah,
money.
At the end of the day, yeah, it all comes down to money. They're not going to cut it out just because they're offended. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if there was no such thing as money.
Whoa, my brain just went places. Where just everything's a free for all.
Philosophy of a 6-year-old. Yeah, like maybe. I mean, maybe what if we just traded skills instead, like and services? Yeah, like you give really good blowjobs.
Or like I can get you to plat on Overwatch if you give me
that's such a good one.
This money. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get you 1,000 G
food
in a week. Yeah. And you can give me my meal for the week.
Just trades.
Give me a loaf of bread. A goat.
Would there still be stores? Would stores exist without money?
I don't think so. I think stores are probably a big proponent of capitalism. I mean,
or would it be like you still go to a store,
maybe.
You still go there, you put all your products on the table, and they're like, "Well, what can you offer us?"
Yeah, exactly.
But then the guy behind that counter, what's he doing there if he's not getting paid? What's he getting out of this?
Well, he gets whatever you. I mean, I assume he owns the business, right? This is like a socialist communism world, I guess. He owns the means of production,
and he doesn't have anyone working for him.
I mean, maybe, and then like if you bring in a cow, you just like cut it in half, or like you can have the back, I'll have the top. Like some wheat.
If I had one wish right now,
I'd write you a poem.
Make the world this for 1 week and see how everything unfolds.
Yeah, it'd be a bit tough, wouldn't it? It would be different, that's for sure.
Everything would burn, Deck.
You think everything would burn if money didn't exist?
Yes, everything would collapse. Everything.
Well, what if we phased it out? I don't just mean like the banks just turn up one day and they're like, "Oh, gone."
What do you phase it out? FYI, money's going to just stop existing in the next 6 months.
Over the next 100 years.
Everyone's going to be like, what the fuck does that mean for my savings? Like, what is this? What is it worth anything? If I spend my savings now, will anyone let me buy this yacht if money's not going to be a thing anymore? He's not going to want that money that's being phased out.
But I mean,
so it's essentially worthless. You phasing it out makes it immediately worthless.
Some countries get into such a bad economic state that money becomes less valuable than other stuff. Like gold, obviously, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or like just food.
We all become gold.
I don't want money. It doesn't do anything.
Because they ain't messing with no broke.
I can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe you've done this. What, it's a lyric in a song, man. I didn't say it.
I know it's It's fair game. I know. You're like, it's fine. It's a good song.
It is a good song.
Okay. But what have we got next? Or maybe last. Yes, I wanted to talk about this, Tim. That you know when you go on Microsoft Rewards, and you earn an achievement, and there's a little square, and it says +50, earn an achievement, earn more, and you click that, and you get 50 points, and you feel really good about yourself and the Xbox ecosystem, and how these systems are interlinked. Because when you get achievements, you get money, and then when you get money, you get games, and you get games, you get achievements, and you get achievements, you get money. So it's kind of this really nice feedback loop. You know that it's gone now.
What? So what have they done to it? What are they doing? Why?
They've moved it to a Game Pass quest.
Oh,
a Game
but those
Pass
are
quest.
so fucking hidden. I don't even
They're
know what
so
they are.
hidden. Exactly.
Like, literally, I just don't even know, dude. I don't think I've ever read a Games Pass quest.
I know where it is, but I'm a freak. You have to go to Game Pass. You have to scroll. You have to pull the right trigger like 5 times before you get to Game Pass quest. It's so stupid. It needs to have its own app. And it's even worse because it's like earning an achievement in any Game Pass game, and it's worth the same. It's not worth more. So it's like needlessly restricted now, and that kind of makes me sad. Having said that, I guess it would count towards your quest total, so that might help, I guess. But bad Phil.
I'm just trying to find it on the app as well.
I don't even know if it's on the app. Like, honestly, I don't have a clue.
Play later. Oh, no, it is. You go to your profile, and then you can see perks. And then you scroll down more, and then there's quests, and then show all. But no, it's very hidden. Like, apparently, I have 3 to turn in right now.
Turn that shit in, yeah.
I got like 70 points, maybe.
That's free money. Yeah.
Wow,
nice,
dude. That's so dumb.
Yeah. I don't know. And I'm okay with them trying to
kill 28 enemies in Outriders.
I did that. I actually did that.
You're a fucking freak.
It's not. It's 250 points. That's like a point. That's like 100 points per enemy.
You have an illness if you did that.
I don't have an illness. And it was actually quite fun. I was like, Outriders is a good game. I don't have gravy brain. It was so easy. I did it like 30 seconds. It's the power of the cloud, dude. Boot that shit up. Gun him down.
Disappointed.
Gun him down.
Thought your time was more precious than that deck. You could have spent those 5 minutes with your son.
He was there. He watched me do it.
He watched you gun down.
I'm so proud of you. Yeah.
Well, your son.
He said, "This is such an efficient use of time."
Yeah. Amazing. We could have bonded, but I don't mind watching this too.
We bonded over Game Pass quests.
Not how that works.
It is how that works.
His brain
does this not count? Any of the bonding that we've done in the last 20 years, it doesn't count because we've done it.
His brain has no grooves in it yet.
You don't fucking know that, right, dude?
He has at least 2 grooves. I got a brain scan.
In it. Your brain grooves are full of gravy.
Yeah, well, they're still grooves. They're just filled with a substance.
Not really. It's fucking veggie gravy as well. Freak. Right, well, that's the end of the show, I think.
Great.
That's the dumbest fucking show I think we've done. That was like
it was. I mean, we made it kind of. It was kind of like a funny-ish one though, because there was so little to talk about.
Yeah, I guess there was. I've got it in the news thing, but halfway through the week there was quite a big story about an Xbox controller coming out with a touchscreen on it, like an actual Xbox controller. I know we've spoken about that before, and the patent looked kind of good, but then halfway through the week it was like, it's a Turtle Beach patent or something like that. I'm not doing this again.
So that means it's going to be like 400 fucking pounds as well, because for some reason,
oh, you can see battery life on it. Oh, great, brilliant, yeah.
Turtle Beach is so expensive as well for some reason. I don't know why. Everything I see at Turtle Beach is so fucking premium. Like that controller is not going to be under like £250.
Yeah. But so who wants that? Like, unless like Xbox would need to set a precedent by like making something proprietary that's like, oh look, you can actually do stuff. Like you can do gestures on it, or like the PlayStation one, and that would be fine. That'd be cool even, but without there being like a first-party support for it, it's not going to do anything other than just be a display, and that's just like...
Even if they just had like simple like clipboard functionality for like typing and stuff, I think it'd be kind of cool to just be able to like go into your messages or open up a chat in game and just paste and just be like, yeah, switch off Reaper. So go this, do something like that and just have that sort of built into the controller. Be quite nice. Yeah, view a little message I think that comes out.
Yeah, I think it's a decent thing to explore for sure.
Turn in your quests from your controller.
Yeah, can't find it on the dashboard. Just hit the button.
Yeah, just fucking click a button, and then you see it, and then you see like little points going to like a little piggy bank. Done, mate. Yeah. Why am I not making this? Hit me up, Xbox.
Very UI designer, yeah.
I'm already in Philly's DMs. Philly, DM me.
DM me again.
Yeah.
I know. I've sent him 20 messages. He hasn't sent me any, so we're DMing.
Yeah, exactly. Technically, we're DMing.
Yeah, it counts. All right. Let's fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, everyone.
So, bye.
Catch you. Oh, hang on. I'm not here next week. When I have a show next week.
We won't catch you here next week.
Yeah, we won't catch you here next week. We won't be here next week. It's Easter. I'm seeing family.
Oh yeah, so am I. Yeah, so that's fair enough.
I'm too busy stuffing my faces in with a chocolate egg.
Chocolat.
Multiple chocolate eggs. Chocolat.
I'm glad you corrected yourself before I did.
Thank you. Yeah, I've got literature review to hand in as well, so that's making me want to cut myself. So
you got this.
Thanks, buddy. All right, guys.
See you later.
Just
cut yourself with a really sharp piece of like cold egg, like chocolate egg. When you put it in the fridge.
I thought you took out like an actual egg. I was like, what the fuck?
I need to specify chocolate egg. Oh, I said egg, and then I was like, no, chocolate egg.